Well, now, having stubborn family members who asks your money at all the time is a real thing, especially in African setup. By the way, if you happen to be outside the country watching this, if you and you're overseas and you have some family members who rely on you back at home, I'm telling you, it can be very, very stubborn. And to a point whereby you even feel like, oh my goodness, can these people actually understand how much I'm struggling where I am right now? I do not know why most of the people, especially we in African continent, and they have some family members who are outside, or maybe in big cities, you tend to think like, hey, you know what? Their life is far much better and they have some extra cash. They actually tend to think like you have a lot of disposable income. You know, disposable income is that money that you don't even have actually any use of them. Okay. So to a point whereby I actually get a lot of DMs. It's only that, you know, due to integrity and what have you, I cannot really show you on my phone, you know, the number of calls that I do receive on the same regard for guys who are working outside the country and telling me, hey, you know what, Joseph, I'm so much mad right now because I've never saved anything. 2 years down the line, I've never done anything. So today, we're going to actually try to find out what are the best thing on how can you actually handle them, and also at the same time make sure that you safeguard your finances, make sure that you go and achieve your goals, and at the same time you maintain them as your families. So that, because hey, guess what, they're important. They are our brothers, our sisters, they are our mother, they are our fathers, they are our aunties, our uncles, our cousins, and what have you. We still need them, we love them, they are great people. It's only that, hey, as much as we love you guys, we also still have our own dreams. And how exactly can we do that? If you're watching me for the first time, come on, just hit that like video. By the way, never forget this. I usually ask this question: why would I have 100,000 views with just like a couple of thousand likes? Come on, it does not cost you anything. Like the video and make sure that you subscribe on this channel. Let's get into the business now. And I'm gonna divide this into several phases. The phase one, what do you do? Phase two, until by the now you clock the phase four, phase five, you already know what exactly to do. Let's go together. See, now the phase one, this is the very basics preliminary. You realize, hey, this is actually the point whereby you say you realize that you need, if you do nothing about what is going on right now, you ain't gonna do something as far as your finances are concerned. And that's why we are making this video. Now you realize, oh my goodness, I have been working in this particular area for the last 2 years, 3 years, 10, 15 years. I educate my brothers, my sisters, and what have you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I fully support it. But now I do not have anything to do with my investments, my savings, and what have you. I have a lot of family members on top of my head. I don't know what I can be able to do. And by the way, if I continue with this character without finding actually a lasting solution, I'm going to get myself into a problem. And this is the type of the problem you're going to get yourself into. You're going to be in a situation whereby you didn't actually take care of your life. So probably going to rely on your kids to take care of your life, just like your parents are relying on you to take care of them. Then you're going to rely on your kids. Then your kids are not going to do better. Why? Because they didn't do so because they were supporting you. Therefore, they're still going to rely on their kids. And then that cycle continues like that. So we must have somebody who breaks that chain and does something about it. This is why I actually talk about this, because I know, by the way, especially, I'm a firstborn and I know how this painful it is. Okay. Now, see, that is the very first phase that you actually apply, realizing. Now, after realizing, now what do? You go to the next phase. Now, at this particular phase, guess what happened now? You establish an open talk for constructive, or what you call constructive criticism. You see, there is a time where it comes, by the way, when was the last time maybe you sat your brothers or your sisters down, or maybe you sat your parents down and you share the hard conversation? Probably you tell them, well, you may not be able to tell them how much you make, but you tell them, hey, you know what? I have these dreams. I want to do this. And by the way, guess what, guys? Your brothers, my sisters, how old are you? You are 25, you're 26, you're 28. You're relying on me to feed you and maybe give you the basic things. How about you do this? By the way, guess what? Yeah, I may love to help you, I may love to do this, but at the end of the day, I cannot be able to shoulder all your problems. I cannot be able to shoulder all your responsibilities. I bet you can be able to do this. And by the way, I did this. This is the route that I followed. I did this. You can be able to. You get what I'm saying? You just have that open conversation whereby you discuss as a family. You sit them down and tell them, guess what? If we do not talk about this, I am telling you guys, we are heading on a dangerous direction. Be it either whether you're a firstborn, you are whoever, you are the most fortunate person in this particular family, you have to do something about it. You have to sit them down. You have to open a conversation. You tell them. For example, you can imagine this. Somebody, let's say, somebody has like 2 or 1 kids, and then they're telling you, you are responsible for educating my kids. Well, probably you might understand if they do not have a job, but then you ask them, okay, how much do you make per month? I make an X amount of money. Okay, how much do you pay for your rent? Okay, how much goes for your savings? Okay, do you have any savings? How much do you actually dedicate for food? Okay, what are your plans? What do you plan to do in future? Where do you see yourself 2 or 3, 5 years from today? And what are you doing about them? And All those kind of questions. What does your wife do if you maybe they are married or something? You have this open conversation. Most of the people, they fear to have this open conversation. Why? Because you see, when it comes to dealing with our family members, we usually have these we are actually controlled by the emotions, and that's for sure. These are our loved ones. We do love them, but at the same time, we've actually sort of get used to giving them the handouts. We aren't gonna actually able to help them in one way or the other. So it is good to make sure that you open what we call, you establish what we call the open conversation, whereby, let me tell you one thing. You cannot just show up from nowhere and you tell them, hey, guess what? I don't think you're smart. I think you don't do good in life. I think you're supposed to do this because of that. No, you cannot do that. First of all, you tell them, you alert them, hey, guess what? They want us to have a discussion. And the discussion that we're going to have, it is a tough discussion. So if you know you are emotional, you'd rather get out of this discussion because it's going to be a tough one. All right. And the moment you tell them that, sometimes you can even tell your parents that I do tell my parents that it is a tough conversation. And by the way, this is not an issue of kids and parents and whatever. It's a tough conversation. So if you're okay, if you have the shock absorbers, let's go ahead and have the discussion. And it's about money. It is about finances. It is about us. Don't let them, see what you're supposed to do as a wise person. Don't make them perceive or look as if they're the problem to you. No, look as if you're also, you get the thing, it's about us. So the moment you talk in a collective term, then it means that you're actually considering them as an amazing people. Okay? By the way, guess what? Let's go to the next phase. But before that, do you know what? My booklet about personal finance things is actually out, and you can get a soft copy, irrespective of where you're watching me from. Whether you're within the country, outside the country, you can get the copy. The copy is only 300 Kenyan shillings. My number is on the description of this specific video. Go grab that number, or get my email on the description at the same time. Shoot me a text or an email on WhatsApp, and I'm gonna ahead and send you that copy, and you can get it. And all this information in a detailed form, they're already in that booklet. Let's go to point number 3. The first number 3 is that explain your position, goals, and wish, and also do what? In a hard talk. Explain yourself. Guess what? Right now, that what I'm doing, I'm trying to achieve some things. I'm trying to do 1, 2, 3. Right now, I'm at a cash crunch. I want to do this and that. So therefore, if you do this and that, actually, what do you call? It's gonna deter me from achieving them. And what is the importance of me achieving these goals? If I achieve these goals, therefore, it means you can also ride on my success, and we can do something on that. You get what I'm saying? So it is good to establish and explain yourself. Explain yourself that I'm in a situation whereby, honestly speaking, I cannot even turn around. Why? Because the amount of money and the time of the help that you're asking me, honestly speaking, it is above my weight. I'm actually punching above my weight. I myself am actually even needed to sacrifice a lot of things to make sure that I do that. And I'm not complaining. I'm only telling you the truth at this particular point. I'm in a situation whereby I'm really struggling and straining to actually achieve even my own basic needs in the name of helping you. How about you guys? You as well, adjust on yourself, just like I'm adjusting on myself. Adjust on yourself so that at least by the now time you ask me for money, surely ask me when you know it is very much justifiable and you really, really, really need it. All right? So that at least we can actually salvage our home. Because, see, have you ever seen this chance of cases whereby you find a particular home is actually ruined in poverty from day in, day out? Throughout the time these guys are facing problems, you find them, they never get out of there. Because let me tell you one secret. See, there is a very big sort of a valley or escarpment between you being here, that's when the poverty side, and the success side. In between here, and if you reap badly, then you're gonna fall off into that ditch. So what you're supposed to do, you tell the guys, you explain, especially if you do watch my videos and they do not watch my videos. Sometimes if you realize that I've posted a video that is so much hard conversation, send that conversation, send that thing. And if you guys, you have a WhatsApp group, send that video out there. Tell them. If they do not listen, you tell them, talk to them, and that is exactly how you do about it. It's about called hard talk. Let's go to the point number 4. At this particular point, after now explaining yourself, you go ahead and do the thing now. Okay? You shake off some of the responsibilities that are not realistic. You shake them off. You tell them, hey, guess what? How much do I send you at the end of the month? No, I do send you 5,000. Honestly speaking, the maximum that I can be able to do is 2,500 or 2. I do not know what you're gonna do, but check out on what you can be able to feel on that 5,000 or 3,000 on top of that. Because just like I've explained to you guys, this is where I am right now. And by the way, I'm not telling you by the end of this conversation they will love you, they will shake your hands, they will tell you, oh my goodness, our brothers, our sister, you've really helped us, amazing, we are so. No, they will hate you. They'll what do you call it? They will talk behind your back. They will actually call you names and all those kind of things. That's the reality of human being. Even if you've been helping them for the last 20 years, that's for a fact. So, and it is better you become hard from the word go, rather than pretend as if everything is okay and they're not okay. There's a reality. So, and now after explaining yourself, now you start shaking them off. You tell them, hey, guess what? Right now, sometimes you can tell them, hey, right now I'm telling you, I really need a lot of money because as a project I'm actually doing 1, 2, 3. There's some adjustment at my job, and this is what I'm actually, my salary has sort of been slashed. I mean, sometimes, yeah, I know it's a lie, and may God forgive us for doing so, but sometimes it's just being wise. It's just being wise, and you're not doing this because you hate them. You're doing this because you want to establish yourself, to grow yourself first, so that at least you can have the strength to as well pull them and bring them to a point whereby now you can say you are successful. For example, if someone is asking you for 100 bob, that's like $1 or something, or $2. You know very well that $100, that $2, that $3 will never solve their problems. They are probably asking that money for consumables, just to eat. That's it. That it means, and by the way, let's check out. Let's be logical here, okay? Someone is asking you 200. Someone is asking you 150 shillings, 200, 300, whatever. That's like $2, $3 or something or so. Probably by default, you know that person is asking for food. Now, let me ask a very simple question. For how long can you feed them to a point to say like, fed the guy, now he's matured? No. Food is a thing that's going to be there continuously. Even if they are at their last day, they still need food. Then it means it's a thing that it is not sustainable. You cannot sustain it. But if someone is asking you, hey, would you mind if you can give me $2,000, $1,000, or $3,000, or something of sort? I bet you can now try to see, well, I may not have the $1,000, but this guy is thinking, why? Because, well, $1,000 probably is not for food. Well, it is, but indirectly, where this guy is actually thinking about investing this money, doing something to empower them so that they can take care of themselves. So probably you can look at it from the lenses of, hey, you know what? Yeah, I know it's a lot of money for now. I can fork it out, but I know this guy one day in time, they're going to go ahead and rely on themselves. You would rather go ahead and do that. That's a reality. By the way, did you know that some of the problem that you confront to your bosses and some guys and they do not even help you? Do you know you can actually go to somebody and borrow like, give me $100, and they just look at you and they tell you, you just get out here. And you can go to a place, they tell you, give me $5,000, and they're like, what do you want to do with the $5,000? Because they want to listen. That's quite of a crazy amount of money. What do you want to do with that amount of money? You explain to them, you tell them, they tell you, okay, fine, do this. Give me some time to think about it. And then after time, they call you back and they tell you, hey, guess what? I've ever received this kind of a response. That's what I'm telling you. They tell you, okay, fine. I would like you to again explain to me the idea that you're giving me. Then you explain to them, they tell you, okay, fine, I have an idea again, okay? Instead of me giving you this money, how about we partner this? I give you this money, but I'm into the business because I still want to monitor how my money is performing at the same time. So in that case, regard, both of you are benefiting. And this is what I always tell people. Never front yourself as a needy individual. Always front yourself as someone who is valuable. Don't go to people, even when you're applying your jobs or maybe when you're getting an opportunity. Don't go to people and telling them, hey, I'm an orphan, I do not have this, I come from a poor background, I do this, I don't have food, don't do that. You first start explaining how valuable you are to the company. Obviously, you must have learned how valuable that company is or what the company deals with. Tell them what gap you're coming to fill and what problem you're coming to solve. Then you can wrap up all that with, hey, but for now, honestly speaking, I come from this company. See, but you started by explaining to them how valuable you are. You get what I'm saying? See, at that particular point, shake off that what things that are not necessary to them. It is hard. This is the hardest part. It is the hardest part, but you've actually explained to them. But most of the people, what they do is that you don't explain to them the situation that you are in. You go ahead and boom, you just cut off or shake off some of the responsibilities, or you just ghost them. They don't even understand what exactly happened. And if you are not married and then they realize that you married, they say, hey, it's because of the wife. It is because of the husband. That's why you no longer support us. You get what I'm saying? So it is good you prepare them mentally. And then after preparing them, now you take the actions. And the last part, this is a situation whereby you realize there's some of the responsibilities from the family members that you cannot shake them. Guess what happens now? If it is not possible, or what I've said, there's some guys who can explain to me, I do not have the mother, I do not have the father, I'm the only one, my brothers relies on me. Such kind of scenario are quite unique. There is no way you can actually, unless they are adults. But if they are small kids, there is no way you can actually bring them on board. There's nothing you can talk about. There's some of the situations that you cannot shake them off. If then it's not, then go ahead and have them in your budget. Accommodate them in your budget. Do not actually operate under what we call, you just dish out money, you don't even know what goes where and how much and all those kind of things. Just like usually have a water bill, electricity bill and transport, accommodate them in that particular bill. Call it black tax. This one goes to this particular place, and that way you're gonna live, you be at peace with the amount of money that you're parting ways at that particular point. But I would advise this, even if you're in a situation whereby you really need to support them, always make sure that you sell the ideas of how to be a self-independent. That is a great thing that you can actually support them along the way. Don't assume they're gonna learn by themselves. No, if they are kids in high school, whatever the stages that they are in, you're supposed to kick them. What I said, hit them with the realities and hit them with these things we call them. What are the financial things that you're supposed to do, where and how are you supposed to invest, and that way you'll be able to not only create or bring forth people who are dependents, but people who are independent. Okay. By the way, guess what? That's the end of my video. But don't forget, just like I said, that my financial booklet, personal finance booklet, is actually ready, and it's a soft copy. You can get it by yourself from my WhatsApp or email. You can shoot me an email and you can get a copy. It goes for only 300. For now, it's a goodbye and see you in the next one.